Hey y'all, welcome back to For the Fans, where tonight we are going to talk about this latest episode of Survivor. A bit
You're pissed.
disappointing finish,
No, you're not
but
disappointed. You're pissed.
a outcome that has made me so pissed. Can't wait to talk about it with y'all, and just be prepared for me to bitch a lot. But
what else
that's
is new?
okay.
So normal. So like a normal Thursday.
Yeah, it's
A normal
basically
Kylie.
it's
You're
like
just gonna be like
normal.
Emily.
It's like normal,
Yeah.
but on steroids, like Emily's personality on Survivor.
I love Emily.
Joined tonight by Kevin, Sheldon, and CJ. How are you gentlemen doing?
Sexy.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I enjoyed the episode. I'm enjoying the season, you know.
I enjoyed the episode.
You made
until
a
the last
face. You
7
made a
minutes.
face like, yeah, sure. Okay. I mean, so the thing happens at the end, but like the rest of the show was good.
So let me tell you, because I watched it back today, and let me tell you what I think annoys me the most about it. I mean, obviously the result of what happens at tribal council and the fallout of that's going to be great. And in the big scheme of things, if somebody wants to quit, I would rather them be gone than somebody that wants to be there being voted out. But it's kind of and I think the fact that it's a 90-minute episode, it amplifies it even more. But it's like you just wasted 90 minutes of your life watching this episode.
Are you only
then-
watching to see who goes home?
That's like the conclusion. And
No,
then
it's
you've
not.
just watched
It's
this
not.
episode and it was
No.
pointless.
This isn't Wheel of
Like,
Fortune, Kylie. You're not waiting to see
The
if they,
conversations were pointless. The strategizing
that's
before
bullshit.
tribal, the whole tribal council, all fucking
No.
pointless.
What do you
It
mean?
was.
There's been so much that has been set up over the
Oh,
next few
I
weeks,
mean-
and in fact, they're starting to set up for merge. Like, that's completely
I
different.
hate cutting to the end,
Oh,
right?
we're
But
cutting.
someone catches a vote and they're like,
Yeah.
who voted for me? Obviously, it wasn't just we see who goes home.
Yeah.
That is going to have ramifications throughout. So
Yeah.
the fact that you think that because someone left voluntarily means that the whole episode was pointless, you're missing the forest from the trees, man.
But
Well,
It was,
maybe, but that's just
was-
how I feel. Last night I was so irritated by
yeah, I
this.
got uncomfortable.
I think it was like a Game of Thrones style ending. It was good until the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, get outta
exactly,
here.
TJ.
It was still
And-
good in
and,
the
and
end.
after that Game of Thrones series finale, when you find out, spoiler alert,
I didn't see it yet.
But that's the thing. It didn't ruin all of the good that had come before it. It was just.
but
a
weren't you
disappointing ending.
disappointed? Like you just had this overwhelming, are you shitting me?
I was
wasted
not.
This
I still
many
enjoyed
years.
the journey, though.
I've wasted this many years
Kylie
to
only cares
learn
I
about
didn't feel that way.
destinations.
to sit on the throne
Listen, for
and for
Brand to
Khaleesi
become-
to die that way.
I was
Khaleesi
cool
died.
and I was cool with Brand because I was cool with everything. Like I'm a real laid back kind of guy. I'm watching. Are you
You're
wearing an
not a
Astro
laid
shirt?
back guy, Kevin. You like to put off that
Are
persona.
you wearing an
but you're
Astro
not.
shirt?
Huh?
Are you wearing an Astro shirt?
No, baby, I'm wearing a spooky season shirt.
Okay, I was about
Go
to check.
Rangers.
They're cheaters. They're a bunch of cheaters. That just derailed me for
Yeah,
a second.
yeah, no, go. Rangers.
But you're I'm a real laid back guy. Whatever the
No,
show's showing me is
You
what
like
they're
to say that,
showing
but
me.
you're not.
I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool with it. You're real ornery. You're always ornery on here.
Yes,
I have to
that is
Google what
literally
that
my
means.
personality. I am very in tune with who I am. I am literally Emily. All right, but
Tracy, the Stros are a bunch of cheaters. I'm not really here to talk about that here in the chat, but that's
the Astros are cheaters. They suck. Go Rangers. And we've got
can we-
game 4 out there right now.
We get to the start because I have a lot to talk about, particularly.
There is a lot to talk about because
listen, I got a lot to say.
there is a lot of important stuff to set up that does go.
Oh, so there
forward
was a
to the
lot of
next-
stuff that
Oh,
happened.
those things.
I didn't say there weren't things.
Yes, you did.
No,
You said it was
my
pointless.
very first statement was yes, there are going to be some great ramifications from tribal council. However,
That was
I
not your first
felt
statement.
like my time was wasted. My time as a viewer was wasted.
No, it was not. That's
It
crap.
was. My
Let's get
time was
into it to
wasted.
point out all the times that Kylie's
Sheldon's
was
time may not have
wasted.
been wasted. Kevin's time may not have been wasted. CJ's time might have been wasted. Kylie's was wasted twice because
We
I had to
don't
watch it
care
fucking
about
3
Kylie's
times.
time. Well, what do you mean? Hannah gave us some beautiful content. She was so fun to watch. I love that she quit.
All right, well, let's jump into this episode and let's talk about some shit that doesn't matter right off the bat. So we get back to the Lulu Beach after Sabaya has just been blindsided, and we get to see Sean, who's pointless to talk about. We get to see him for the first 15 minutes of the show talking about the blind side. Do y'all want to talk about this?
Yes.
Okay, then let's talk.
Because Sean comes back from camp and says apparently Caleb and Emily got close at some point. And I was blindsided and Sabaya went home. I could really use a swap right now. You know, one we hadn't had in 5 seasons.
I don't understand how he didn't see them getting close, because Emily went from complete outcast to kind of being part of the group. And Caleb was obviously the reason why, because it wasn't like him and Sabaya were making an effort.
Well, I think one of the reasons he misses it is because when they are getting close, they're like going to the well, they're going to the fire, all that stuff. And then the times that Emily is not voted out is because Brandon's a liability. And then the next time is because it's a blind side, right? So I think he just missed it because it wasn't obvious that they were getting close. Someone had to go with Emily, so she wasn't just by herself.
I think it's even a little bit more than that. I just think he trusted the 3. Like, he believed that it was him, Sabaya, and Kayla.
Yeah,
and that was it, right? And the truth is, there's no real good reason to believe anything other than that. Like, they were strong. Like, there's no I don't know. It's nice to have Emily around, but truth be told, if I was in that position, I'd probably think the same thing Sean did. This is a nice, solid 3. Let's continue.
Yeah, well, and I think even further than that is I think Sean and Sabaya saw themselves as the real duo, and then Caleb was their third. So they were in control. Caleb was going to do what they wanted, and Emily was just completely discounted. And then Sabaya gets voted out because she risked her vote to extend the life of the idol, and Sean is left like, oopsie.
Agreed.
But it doesn't matter. Okay, so time for the swap.
Just 1 second before the swap. What did y'all think about how Sean handled this? Because I found it a little disingenuous. He was so happy, and he was like, it just felt yucky to me. And that was kind of my first sign of this isn't going to work out well.
Well, he knew that he was on the bottom of the 3 and that he was going home if they lost. Well, not if, when they lost, because they hadn't won shit.
Yeah, and there's only 3 of them. And remember how I just tried to blindside Caleb? And remember how Emily saved him? Yeah, I'm going home if we lose.
Yeah.
So,
like, it doesn't matter whether he's disingenuous or he's pissed or whatever, because at the end of the day, he's at the bottom of the 3. And the only thing that saves him is a swap.
I don't remember what show we were talking about. But we recently talked about this idea of right after an eviction or right after a tribal council, it is okay to be in the feelings. It's okay to be angry. And here, and I kind of disagreed with that, but now I looked at the opposite, which is I'm going to cover my anger. I'm going to cover my feelings. I'm just going to try to suck up to everybody and be happy-go-lucky. And it felt weird to me too.
There's probably a balance between going off and tanking your game that way and just being like, it's fine, no big deal. And I think if you come back and the way to appear genuine and probably to actually be genuine is just be like, okay, guys, that was a really great move. I am feeling a little hurt because I was close with Sabaya, but I can also understand where, y'all made that decision too. So, we'll talk about it all individually and everything, but thank y'all for keeping me here.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was good that he was like looking, he realized immediately that I need something like a swap to get me the fuck out of here, because this is not going to work with me sticking around on this tribe.
And yet he quit. So he didn't need anything. He didn't fucking care.
Guys, him quitting.
He quit? What?
Him quitting, if you will.
Spoiler alert.
Is not indicative of what's happening.
He died.
It's not indicative of what happened here.
Okay. Well, I don't actually think that. I don't. We're going to talk about it in a second. I don't think he decided to quit before he got to the tribal.
He didn't.
And
I
that's
don't
what Jeff says too.
But
don't
no,
think-
that's what he said to Dalton Ross.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what he said in the On Fire podcast.
That's very interesting. Like, I felt like it just magically happened in the moment, and everybody was sort of pleading for their lives, and he's like, I don't want to be here. I want to.
Well, we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. We're just
Sheldon
gonna
and
so far
Kylo
ahead.
jump into the end.
All right, so they show up, and
no foreplay here.
hey, y'all, aren't you very surprised at Sabaya being voted out?
Yeah, she was the anchor of that tribe. She was
All the positive words about Sabaya from the other two tribes.
Mm-hmm.
dangerous.
That's why I think it was a good move to get rid of her because she was gonna win.
Yep.
I don't know if she was going to
It's
win.
very hard to say she was going to win when there's still 16 people.
you,
But
CJ.
it is true. She is. Look. She was a threat. Everybody liked her. Clearly, she seemed like she would be fun to get along with, and
She
was a
seemed
great
like, and she
leader.
was in charge. She was authoritarian,
Yeah.
authoritative to the groups. Yeah,
Everybody wanted to get to know her better, and that's
Yeah.
dangerous.
yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No, I don't know if she would have won, but she would have been very, very threatening long term. All right, but time for a swap. Let's talk about these three tribes because I do love the breakdowns of the three tribes. Like, honestly, I think you could not have written it any better if they had rigged which one you were going to choose. So, the new Reba tribe, we get 4 original Reba in Sifu, Julie, Jemaya, and Dee, with the addition of Sean. The new Lulu tribe, we get 4 original Bello in Bruce, Jake, Katora, Kelly, with Caleb. And then the new Bello tribe, we get 2 Reba, 2 Bello, and our girl Emily in the middle.
I do wish the tribes got mixed up a little bit more.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Like, I like that. I mean, you've got the new Bello tribe, which is perfect. 2 with 1 in the middle. Love that. And then I like that even with the 4 on the 2 tribes, you've got Katora and Bruce who hate each other. Like, I'm so glad they stayed together.
Well, I wish it was just a or something
By
like that.
far, the best part of the episode is Katora. By far.
Yeah. I like I said, I was hoping for more of a mix in general instead of you have the Lulu losers being split up amongst the 3, 4 going to one, 4 going to the other. Not much happening.
Well, I don't agree with that. I mean, we
Well, it just-
literally almost saw Sifu get voted off.
Well, it just sucks because like they didn't get put in a swing spot. They got put in a I got to work from the bottom again.
Yeah. I would have preferred if they were a swing spot, but that's a preference, Kylie. Once again, that's a preference. Yeah. That's not.
I must say I actually didn't mind the mixing of the tribes at all. I love when it's a 4-1 because it adds so many dynamics. You get to see the strength of the actual tribes if they really were as strong as they seem to be, especially for the Reba and Bello tribe who never actually had the ability to test their loyalty to one another. And so to me, I find it really interesting that we had 2 tribes like that. And then the other tribe was completely confusingly split. Lucky for Emily, because she was completely put in a wonderful place where she has the time, and we saw it in this episode, where she had the time to actually say, look, I'm right in the middle. As long as I make friends with people, I'm in the best place. So let me figure this out. And she showed us her amazing personality. I loved it. I thought it was so fun.
I think it would have been more fun if we could have gotten like some mix-ups with like, I hate that Austin and Drew got swapped together. It would have been more fun if Austin had got swapped with like Sifu. You know what I mean? Like, oh, now what's going to happen? This makes things a little more interesting. But
The way that they got split, it's almost like it was rigged.
yeah, it really is.
Which obviously it wasn't because they're just pulling at random, but it was a crazy split.
Yeah, it was wild. All right, so let's talk about this new Lulu tribe. And we see them going back to the Lulu beach, and our boy, Uncle Bruce, is overcome with emotions because this is the old Tika beach.
Yeah, the moment he sits down, he just is breaking down in tears. And because he was there for 12 hours, and it just reminded him of everything he had gone through, being pulled from the game, even though he's the first return, he never returned back. And remember, it wasn't like an advantage or nothing that he came back. He only knew like the same 12 hours as them, except for he's going to a beach and it's just bringing back old memories.
Yeah, no, I imagine.
Well, I'll say I don't understand how Emily went so hard after him for being a returner. I was like, he literally did nothing.
My thing is, though, I get it because he has had the experience of being out there. So, like all those nerves, all the anxiousness, he has already experienced it once.
Well, I agree. Like he is at an advantage. The other advantages is he has the ability to make connections with Kane from Canada and other people from that season who have given him significant insight in how the game is actually played. One-on-one. Can you imagine before you go out on Survivor, you spend months talking to, 18, 17 other people or 15 other people who were on Survivor, who experienced that pain, who experienced the competition, and you knew who the winner was and you got to know exactly what they did. Like that is an advantage.
Yeah, there's absolutely an advantage, and she should have called it out. Good for her.
Well, no, she should not have called it out. She should have bit her lip because that started her tirade of hell. She saved her ass.
It was way too short.
Unnecessary. It was too short. So you don't like quitters. You also like people who screw their game up.
Yes, I like good television.
Okay, Oprah, it's okay. We'll get you good television. You get a quitter. You get a quitter. Next week we'll get a medevac.
Yes, that's what's coming. In case y'all don't know, like them showing this again. This is way skipping forward. I'm even more pissed that this.
We're skipping forward to next week.
Why don't? Yeah, we're not even talking about this episode, Kylie. Can we stay?
We're going to next week. That's how far ahead we're going.
Can we stay in this episode, please?
Oh my goodness! All right, so Bruce has his little moment, which I think that is really, really understandable for like what he's been through. Because what a dream to like get out there and then to have your moment taken away instantly. So real humanizing moment for old Uncle Bruce. But guess what, guys? He only needed a minute and he's back.
Yeah, and Katura was sad because he was back.
Yeah. Katura hates him.
I love it.
Passion.
I love it.
I respect it.
They sit down to have a little discussion and, kind of get the goings on of Lulu because, they can all share the same story, but Caleb is the interesting one because they don't know what's been happening. And so Caleb is like, Bruce immediately says, well, what did Brandon do on, I went on the journey with Brandon. What did he say? Katura's like, before you say anything else, Bruce, Caleb, you tell us what Brandon said.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love
respect the hell out of that move because I want to know if Uncle Bruce here was telling us the truth. And Uncle Bruce clocks it. And he goes, that makes me concerned about Katura because that means she might not have trusted me. No, Bruce, I did not trust you. You're the only one that went on a journey. You're the only one that allegedly told us what happened. Of course, now we've run into someone else that had a similar experience with someone. I need to fact check it. Obviously, Bruce. The fuck?
Yeah, I need corroborating evidence, sir.
Yeah, man.
So just shut your mouth and let him talk.
Yeah, of course.
So y'all just, which I loved it. I loved it from an entertainment standpoint. But we were just talking about Emily calling Bruce out for being a returner and having an advantage. What do y'all think about this move in terms of Katura's game? How do y'all feel about her basically, shutting him down in front of the whole tribe and being like, let's fact check?
That's what was necessary. I respect it.
I respect it, but I don't know if it's necessarily good for her game because it's gonna be it's him or it's me is what it's looking like it's gonna come down to whenever they finally go to tribal, and I don't know if she has the votes.
Yeah, my fear with Katura, and her entire perspective about Bruce is sometimes in Survivor and sometimes in these social strategy games, you keep people you don't like because it helps position you further in the game. And her obsession with wanting Bruce to start looking like this and be medevaced out, like like I'm scared that the obsession will make her stop understanding the game and understanding what's better for her game, and that's just my only fear. Do I think it was the right move? It was a little forward. I don't know if I would have handled it the way she handled it, but good for her. She did what she needed to do.
I the reason I loved it is because if you wait for Caleb to start explaining what happened or answering Bruce's question, you then lose that ability to get the absolute truth out of her about it. So I like the fact that she did it in that moment because she understood that I need to know now, and we just need to be on Front Street.
But I also wonder if Bruce already understands. I wonder if we just haven't seen that they do not have a good relationship and they both know it about it.
From it sounded like Bruce is well aware.
And so I think that maybe she just felt comfortable with the fact that he knows I don't like him. He knows I don't trust him. So let me just do
it would have been more interesting to hear not Bruce's perspective, but to have heard like Kelly or Brando's perspective. Is Brando on that tribe? No, Jake. Kelly or Jake's perspective, and getting them to be like, whoa, Katurah, this was really aggressive, or like, I'm glad she did this because I want to know the truth too. And so from the television standpoint, I love it. Katurah can do no wrong in my eyes. I adore her.
Oh, no, I'm Team Katurah in the Katurah versus Bruce argument, but I think she needs to dial it down a notch because, like, especially jumping forward a little bit, her conversation with Caleb 101, where she just like airs all the dirty laundry about how much she doesn't like Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a good way to endear yourself to someone if they're not picking up the same vibe.
But he was, and that's the opposite of that's why it was a good move. It's a risk, but he's literally says, I was at the well, but now I'm quenched. My thirst is quenched now. Hearing this info.
All right. Well, we'll get to that conversation a little bit more, but before that, we have a conversation with Jake and Caleb, and at the Sweat versus Savvy challenge, they had already spoken that, hey, let's work together when we get to the merge, of course. And Jake is like, yeah, like let's work together. And, like, I want to trust you, but I am not Katurah. I am not going to spill all the beans. And I'm going to kind of keep some things close to the chest here. So I feel good about Bruce, but nobody's off the table for me. What do y'all think about this?
It's interesting because Katurah's been leading the charge. Jake has been the closest thing to an ally that Bruce has. And Kelly's just sitting in the middle. So Caleb really is the swing here. And I think wherever he decides to go is going to decide the Bruce Katurah beef.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, Jake is apprehensive to give him anything, but that's not necessarily the best move right now because it kind of looks like a every man for themselves thing going on that beach.
Except for the underlying fact, and this is not skipping too far ahead, this tribe is stacked. And this tribe is making merge. For outside of a medevac next week, this tribe is making merge. So
it's very hard to see them not winning.
Exactly. So Katurah might be annoyed by Bruce, but she's going to be stuck with him for quite a while.
Yeah. But what I do think is interesting is we also get a confessional from Kelly where Kelly is like, I'm keeping my eye on Bruce. Like, I don't know if I completely trust him. And cut to her then having a conversation with Bruce, and he's like, you're my number one. She's like, oh, okay. I don't know if I believe that, but
it felt good to hear it.
Yeah, but we'll keep that in our pocket.
I don't understand where that came from because, like, you haven't shown them being close.
Yeah, it was weird.
Well, they're alone.
I don't, but we haven't seen them other times either. I don't think Bruce is very good at this game. I mean, I just don't think he's very good at this game.
Nah.
I feel like there's not really much more to say on it other than that. But you're watching him play. Like, I don't know why it was necessary to bring him back.
I think casting really liked him. I don't know why casting really liked him. I don't feel like he's brought in anything that somebody else could have brought, you know?
Right.
Well,
I
Kiley
think we're
thinks
gonna call casting into question here. Okay,
Uh-oh.
I think Kevin, you're talking about like I've lost the forest through the trees. Like, here you go. I think they have too. I think
Do you think they thought he was another Caroline?
Carolyn.
No,
Carolyn.
No,
no,
I don't. Maybe they
no.
wanted him to be like this mix of like a Jeremy and a Ben. You know what I mean? Like he's a veteran and he's a dad and he's, kind of cool, like cool Uncle Bruce. And so maybe that's where they see it, but
Well, I think that's probably why they brought him on the show in the first place. He's not back because of his brilliant skills or because of his personality. He's back because he left the game after 6 hours. That's plain and simple.
well,
And they felt it's the right thing to do to bring him back. Like I think it's just that. I think it was a moral sort of he didn't have a chance to play. He took a risk, maybe quit his job, left his family. He deserves another chance. I think that's all it is. And they cast him for a reason. And look, he's not bad TV. He's annoying. I agree with Katura, and he's weird and all those things, but that's TV, and they like those weird people in 40 plus seasons. So that's it.
But if you're going to bring him back, I would have rather they brought him back in an all-star season.
Ugh. He's not an all-star.
I mean, okay,
maybe secondary chances.
We don't need
maybe Battle of the Medevacs.
the Survivor version of David. No, thank you.
But that's exactly what he is.
Yeah,
the Survivor version of David.
I thought it was funny because he goes, he says, "Well, you're gonna get off here. You're gonna be a little bit of a celebrity." And Katura's like, "No, you're not. you're not like this."
There's a select handful of people through 45 seasons that have semi become a celebrity, and chances are you're not him.
Or
who's the biggest Survivor celebrity?
Boston Rob.
Boston Rob.
I'd say Boston Rob, then probably Richard Hatch still, and then Serene.
Yeah, I mean, he got a little bit of celebrity. I don't know.
No, I to me, everybody still thinks of Survivor and Richard Hatch. He was the first winner.
No.
I'm just thinking of like the people that have like made it outside of.
Yeah, I would get Wendell Holland and Boston Rob have had their own shows.
Kim Spradlin.
Yeah, Kim Spradlin.
That's right. Kim Spradlin has her own show now too.
Yeah,
so
those are the people.
Also, not her own show, but she was on a show.
Southern Charm.
Rob and Amber.
Well, still Rob. So Boston Rob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably Rob.
So Bruce, it's probably not going to happen, my guy. It's not.
It's probably not there. And then we only get this one other little scene from this new little Lulu tribe. And that is Katura with Caleb when she decides to completely spill the beans and rat out like, hey, look, there's cracks. Bruce is awful. He sucks. You shouldn't like him. And if we were going to tribal, he was going to get voted out. And Caleb is like, this is music to my ears.
Caleb hears this and he immediately is like, this is what I want to. This is what I want to do. I didn't want to come in here and be a immediate vote. I'm glad to know that there's a crack. And Caleb has a little bit too many words here when he's talking to Katura first, but we eventually get around to the fact that Katura is telling him things he needs to know to keep him safe in this game.
Yep.
100%. And here's the thing about Caleb, and it's the same thing we've been saying since the beginning of the season, since preseason, that it's hard for anybody, including Katura, not to look at Caleb and not to want to play with him. He is so endearing. He is so he just opens that big smile, and it's hard not to want to work with him, which is why everybody wanted to talk to him. Everybody was happy. Kelly is a lesbian, and she was skipping along with him. She was so happy. Everybody wants Caleb, including me.
Oh Lord. Okay. And then the last little bit that we get from the Bello tribe, which happens after the immunity challenge, but there's nothing else to come back to on them.
Okay, go ahead.
So let's just go ahead and talk about it. They do end up getting the Flint, and Uncle Bruce was in charge of the Flint, y'all. And his
Oh
Where
my
pocket
where
God.
is it? Where is it? Okay. Before you talk about that, Katsura talks about that she doesn't like Bruce because he's cheesy and he's annoying and he thinks these things, these fucking faces, and he thinks he's funny and they're not funny.
it
So
is the whole way that they have put together this confessional, because they are splicing together different moments of Katura talking shit about Bruce, and I
yeah,
love it.
and she just goes on this whole diatribe about how much she hates Bruce. So
Yeah.
then you see the part where they get the Flint because they do well enough in the challenge that they get the Flint because they're not going to tribal. He gets the Flint. They're like checking. He's checking his pockets. Was there a hole in my pocket, guys? Was there a hole in my pocket? They're like, oh, Bruce, stop playing. Stop playing. I got a zipper though. And then he unzips his pocket and the Flint's there. And then they cut to Katura.
The very first ever confessional with no words.
It was a Jim Pam deadpan look on the Office.
For real though, if I'm Caleb after everything Katura just told me, I'd be like, oh, so this is why we're voting him.
This is what we're talking about.
Got it.
That's the thing. My bad. I didn't see it before, but now it's I don't know if you guys ever watched How I Met Your Mother, but it's a glass shattering moment, and then like now that's all you can see once the glass shatters.
Yep.
That's what that is. Because now it's like, oh, it's this thing.
Okay.
I see what you're talking
He's
about.
really funny.
And this is why he was
He's
cast.
really funny.
This is exactly why he was cast. Like why is he back? This is it. Right? He's not there to win. I'm sorry.
Literally every single dad over the age of 40.
So okay,
It is such a dad joke.
You have
The
a
dancing, I lost the Flint, must have a hole in my pocket.
Bruce
He's corny.
with Jam and Carolyn on the
Oh my
same
God.
tribe.
Oh my
This would
God.
have been insane. Probably one of the most kookiest tribes in the history
And
of
you
the
know,
world.
like it tracks so much now that Carolyn was like, initially I felt really connected to Bruce.
Yeah,
I
Yeah.
see it.
yeah.
Kindred
makes sense.
spirits.
Yeah.
All right. That is all we're really going to get from the new Lulu tribe. Let's talk about the new Bello tribe. And reminder, this new Bello tribe is the most interesting split in that we've got Austin and Drew, Emily in the middle, and then Brando and Kendra. And I mean, old Brando, he's disappeared off this damn show.
I forgot
So
he was
true.
there.
So
Brando?
true.
Where
Well,
the
not only that, Jeff referred to him as Brandon at
It
the
sounded like he called him Brandon
at the reward or whatever the heck it was.
at the swap, yeah. Or
But yeah, who's that? Who's that dude?
He's
I don't know
a
who
guy
he is.
on the tribe, I think.
yeah, the skinny guy with the
Just like the
glasses.
tall one with the glasses.
Well, it kind of it sort of showed us that, not to say he was nothing, but without Kelly, we wouldn't have known him at all.
Yeah, probably not. And I'm disappointed that we didn't get more Kendra because I'm really, really liking Kendra.
100%.
But
like Kendra too.
let's. What'd you say, CJ?
I like Kendra too.
Oh wow, Kevin, say you like her.
She's fine.
Okay, we'll take it.
In
All
my
right.
early season power rankings, I think she's my third favorite. I don't have her anywhere
Wow.
near winning, but she might be my third favorite cast member.
Yeah, I
I see her
actually
winning.
really, really like her. Very,
her
very
winning.
surprised.
I could see a win.
Yeah, I could see her winning. Okay,
Also-
but
But we all know Emily's going to win, so relax. Everything will be fine.
on this tribe, we get Emily, and Emily is like, it's not that big of a deal that I got swapped by myself because I'm used to being on the outs, so no big deal. But maybe I can show them the new and improved Emily, and I can maybe just put my best foot forward. And so she takes Caleb's advice and she runs with it.
I like the fact that she comes in like chipper. How's it going, guys? My name is Emily. I am happy to be here on Survivor. Whatever you heard about me is greatly exaggerated. I
Brandon
am so
lied.
happy to be here.
Brandon's a liar. Like, did y'all see him? He almost died on the side of the boat. So we don't believe him.
Like, so happy to be here. Emily, That's me. And it's like I hated Emily in that first episode, and
I hated her in the second episode too.
I've had a nice turnaround on Emily. She's fine.
She's not fine. She's more than fine. Like
she's not more than fine. Sheldon.
I love Emily in the first episode.
I think she's been looking prettier too as episodes have gone. She's fine.
Sheldon?
Look, I loved Emily in the first episode, and my opinion on her has gone down a little bit. I want controversial and get Emily back, but she's playing a better game now, so good for her. Okay, but Emily decides she is going to spill all of the beans, and she is going to tell them about Sabaya's idol, and she is going to talk about the tribal council and how she walks out with the idol. Do y'all like this from Emily, giving all of the information to these 4 people that
Sheldon probably doesn't, because he likes to keep everything secret into his vest. He wanted Emily to come in there and say, "Who knows what happened? Who knows what happened?"
I
loved
agree,
it.
Kevin.
I did too. I
love it too, and here's why: she doesn't have an idol. Simple as that. It's not her secret to keep right now. The idol is out of the game, and there's no secret. There's nothing around there, and in fact, it makes her far more endearing and far more trustworthy by sharing that information. Which, by the way, wasn't her own to share. It was somebody else's, which I'm even more okay with.
I love when you can go and share information, because when you can go and share information like that, it shows that you're trying to play open.
Yeah.
And so,
well, and you know, especially for Emily, somebody that did have a rocky start that was very, very apparent to everybody. For her to be like, look, I was so loyal to Caleb that this is what I did. You know what I mean? Like, that's the type of player I am. Well, so I love what she does here.
In addition, she has nothing to lose, because her tribe had 3, right? And they've been split amongst the 3 tribes. So she has nothing there. She was in with Caleb, and what she's giving up is nothing about Caleb. It's about someone that's not here anymore, and she has no loyalty to Sean. So it's like, this is what I got. Let me show you everything.
And on top of that, she just got sent to a tribe that is 2-2-1. So being completely open and honest is like, hey, you can trust me, and I can align with one of you guys if you approach me.
Because remember, there's 2 over there, and there's 2 of y'all. So either one, I don't give a damn. I have nobody. Somebody pick me up.
I also really believe that in any social game, when it is strategically advantageous not to lie, don't lie. Because it's so much easier to tell the truth and have that story be bought than you being caught, because not everybody is a good liar, including me. So as often as you can, if you could tell the truth, tell the truth.
Yep.
Life advice with Sheldon.
Thank you.
But we basically get nothing from Brando and Kendra. Not basically, we get nothing from Brando and Kendra. So we don't know how they're feeling.
We got a look from Kendra when she handed the idol back. That was it.
Yeah. Okay. And so we get Austin and Drew going off to talk, and they're like, Emily isn't bad. Like, we thought she was going to suck, and she doesn't suck. I think we can work with her.
I love this for Emily, the moment they were discussing this, because Emily was like, hello, guys. How's it going? They're like, this Emily, I don't know what that Emily that Brandon was talking about. Don't know who that was. This Emily is great. And I'm like, I just love the fact that it was a complete 180 on who she was as a person, because she realized that she has to like lie. And like Sheldon said, you have to lie about who you are a little bit for her.
Yeah. And so we do get them talking with Emily, you know, a little bit later in the episode when they're like, hey, you know, we're feeling great vibes from you. And she's like, I was same. Like, I was getting great vibes off of y'all also. And this is amazing. Like, I'm so happy. All I've wanted this whole game is to just be included in something. And she has this confessional where she's like, this is the first time in the game where I've got somebody that wants to play with me and isn't telling me what to do. And I'm like, oh man, that is such a huge, huge thing for somebody like her.
She loyal to them.
Well, for anybody, but especially somebody like Emily.
and look what she's done though. In just after the first two tribals of a little bit of doom and gloom, she solidified a long-term relationship with Caleb. He's not going to go against her. Like that's not going to happen. She's now developed this strong relationship with Drew and with Austin, who bring along with them two other people from the
Yeah,
she is
and
so well positioned right now.
And yes, I would love to have you, Caleb, the most likable person. You, Austin, the best competitor.
The strongest competitor.
You, Dee, who is, this outgoing woman that may be a little bit of a bigger target than you. This is all amazing news for me if I'm Emily.
Especially if she is as big of a target and as big of a personality as we have seen, because that is hard to forget. Nobody's going to forget that. But she needs to align herself with these big ass people. Katura's next. She's going to make best friends with Katura when merge comes. Bruce, besties.
I hope Emily hates Bruce too.
I wonder.
She already semi hates him. So I hope she completely hates him.
She just hasn't had a chance to hate him out in the open again.
Yeah.
She
just hates the idea of Bruce. She doesn't even have a reason to hate Bruce himself yet.
And this is why she'll align with Katura, because they'll both hate him together.
Yeah. I love that.
You hate him? You haven't had to live with him for 12 days. Let me tell you.
It's like, that sucks for you. I mean, I already hated him just looking at him on the thing.
Yeah.
Saw for 12 hours and I didn't like him. Yeah.
Do you see that machete? I know what we could use it for.
Okay. All right. And that's pretty much all that we get from our new little Bello tribe. But I do have something I want to talk about the Bello tribe at the very, very end. And it is a hypothetical for y'all to start thinking about. And I want to talk about the OG Bello idol. Okay. We'll come back to it. Y'all just be thinking about it. All right. So the Reba tribe. This is our 4 OG Rebas: Sifu, J Maya, Julie, and Dee, and Sean. Okay. So this is pointless, but let's talk about it anyways.
It's not though. It's not.
There's actually a lot of interesting things to talk about within this tribe.
Here. So one of the big things that's here, don't roll your eyes. One of the big things that's here is that we know there's a 4-person alliance of the Reba people, the OG Reba of Drew, Austin,
Dee and Julie.
I always forget Julie's name.
Yeah,
I was gonna call her Judith. With Julie and Dee. And so we know there's a pre-existing 4-person alliance. They've been split up 2-2. And they have J Maya with them and Sifu, right? So it's interesting to me because with Julie and Dee, they're almost saying to themselves, we need to go ahead and continue on with the plan. The plan we had with Austin and Drew was to take care of Sifu and J Maya. We have been tasked to continue on the plan. That is we've been split into 2 different missions. Their mission is to go get other resources, other people to work with us. Ours is to take care of our enemies that we had already looked at. So we see them immediately taking to Sean, talking to Sean, but Dee and Julie being like, we need to get Sifu. like Sifu is a part of the plan that did taken out from the beginning.
You know what's funny? Watching the 5 of them, and we're just gonna talk in broad terms because we know what happens. But Sean comes in, they want to bring in Sean to get rid of Sifu, or Jemiah wants to. And she's so concerned about the idol and that Sifu might have it.
They know where the idol is.
That's where I was going with this, is the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I know it's not your place to say, but I think you can calm down Jemiah a lot by saying the idol left. One of the guys has the idol. Don't worry about Sifu playing the idol.
But why do I want to calm down Jemiah?
Yeah, you want to get
why?
rid of...
So that you can get rid of Sifu. They don't want to get rid of Sifu first. They want to get rid of Sean first.
So play into Jemiah, I think.
Well, here's the thing. They want to get rid of Sean.
You're right. We should vote him out tonight.
No, but if you tell them Sifu cannot have the idol because it's gone, that gets them to get rid of Sean. Because Jemiah's whole concern is if we get rid of Sean now, it's one of us next. But it's not one of you next because there's no way Sifu has the idol.
So here's something that I don't fully understand about what happened. One of the highlights for me of this season, because I did not expect this to happen, is actually Julie. I have a really good feeling about Julie going far into this game. And one of the reasons is that every single time she speaks, she's right. I do not, and she expressed the fact, which I believe is 100% true, why, if you just lost, or why, if you're about to lose, why would you get rid of Sifu? If you want to get rid of one of the two, get rid of Jemiah. Like what are you doing? Or just get rid of Sean. You don't need him around, right? And especially if Jemiah is expressing, I don't like Sifu, just tell her, let's keep Sifu one more round, just so we have the opportunity to get him out next. Like I just don't understand it. What I don't understand is why Julie was, as soon as D came in and said, you know what, folks, let's get rid of Sifu. Why Julie said, okay. Like, why didn't she fight?
I think because I honestly completely forgot about Julie and Dee knowing about the idol being gone until you brought it up, CJ. But my thing is like, if you want to get rid of Sifu, like if that is one of y'all's objectives, was like, okay, this man needs to go before we get to the merge. If that is what the two of you want, because y'all basically get to decide, you know, unless those three get together, which they're probably not, whenever you've got Jemiah shooting at Sifu.
Well, because Jemiah doesn't know about the 4, which is a very helpful thing.
Right. So those two know that they're basically in control here. And if you want to get rid of Sifu, then you play into what Jemiah is saying. Like, Jemiah, you are so right. Sifu could have this idol. And if we just keep preaching Reba strong, then he's not going to play the idol tonight, and we vote Sifu out tonight. And then if we lose again, which we're probably going to, because Sean is our man, and that puts Dee and Julie in the power positions of hauling stuff. So we're probably going to go back to tribal. And you're right, we're just going to vote off Sean.
You know what? They are probably the new Lulu.
Oh yeah.
I don't see them winning anything until merge.
Which is why I don't understand this idea of getting rid of Sifu at all. If anybody has any strength or any ability in that game to win a competition, it's going to be Sifu. And you know what?
Be fine with it. Just know that, hey, we are going to lose. We're going to get rid of Sifu. We're going to lose again. And we're going to get rid of Sean. It's fine. And then guess what? If we don't merge, we're going to vote off Jemiah because we know that the idol's gone. So Julie and Dee can make no wrong decisions here.
Yeah, knowing that you've merged at 12 the last 4 seasons, we just have to get rid of one of them, and then we can pick the other 2 off.
Yeah. In addition to everything you guys are saying to Sheldon, the reason you get rid of Sifu here is because Sifu just hasn't connected with them, right? Jemiah at least has the girl thing. Right, the women thing, that's a connection that they seem to have, but Sifu has not connected with them in any way. So they're like, cool, Sifu first, and then Sean or Jemiah, either one. Maybe we go Jemiah here and finish the job, and then we could bring Sean in, or we could go Sean here and Jemiah is like, girl strong.
Yeah,
but what you're basically saying is, they are willing, like, for me, the move was Sean, then Sifu. That was the move. Because evidently, Jemiah is loyal. So keep Jemiah as a number into that merge, because she's not going to leave. She has nowhere else to go right now. And just get rid of Sifu when you have that second loss, which is probably going to happen. And if you really believe Sifu is such a big threat, somebody will take care of him in the merge.
What's the best way to bring Jemiah in and make her feel closer to you? Let her call the shot. So if she wants Sifu, let's vote Sifu.
Okay, but then you're basically saying we're going to lose 2 times.
Yes, because we're still going to get rid of Sean and Jemiah. On top of that, Sheldon, Sean immediately endeared himself to the ladies. Sifu still is not on the inside. We don't like this
Sifu
guy.
is honestly the worst. Like where I have said I could not live with Marianne and I probably could not live with Carolyn, I sure the fuck couldn't live with Sifu either.
No.
He's
Could you live
so
with Bruce?
annoying. He's awful, y'all.
No, I don't. I think Marianne would have been the big deal for me. That like the talking incessantly. would
No,
kill
I
me.
think Sifu would top all of them for me.
I think
I would-
But-
Bruce is worse than all of them.
Oh,
Bruce is terrible too. There's been a lot.
what type of casting is this? You told me yesterday, Kylie.
I
Wow.
don't mind. I will say it on here. I don't care.
What is it?
It's woke casting.
Ah,
So
the
Snowflakes.
Texan. The Texan. Here it is.
They're casting snowflakes.
so snowflakes are people that are what?
Snowflakes are people that can't handle adversity very
Well,
well.
Sifu is a what is he? A karate,
He's
jujitsu?
a martial
No,
arts and
Sifu
sharpshooter.
isn't a snowflake. Sifu is
I
a
know
weirdo.
he's not a weirdo. He's just
He is a weirdo.
You don't like different people. I'm different, and you like me.
And
I
you
do.
do, Sheldon. you do a show with her.
You think I like you.
Yeah, doesn't mean she likes you, Sheldon.
She just
Like
likes
Survivor, she can pretend.
You opened that door yourself, Sheldon. I don't know why you're looking sad.
me, and I'm about to close it.
See? Texans know. 100%. That's like casting. And we're gonna get into it more in a minute because I got a lot more to rail about. Okay, but yeah, that's pretty much the dynamic of the Reba tribe. I think we broke it down well enough for heading into the immunity challenge. So immunity challenge, very, very physical. Okay, you've got to swim up to this big cube, climb over, get the little poles so that you can carry it out of the ocean, and then drag it through the sand. I can barely drag my fat ass through the sand, much less this whole cage. But okay.
That was hard.
Yeah, that looked super
Yeah.
hard.
And carrying
so,
some heavy shit through the sand.
yes, no, that cannot happen. Drag it up to the certain point, dig underneath the log, untie the balls, shoot them into the 3 different hoops that are different heights. Do y'all have any doubt about what's about to happen? Because
No.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any guarantees, right? I didn't think any guarantees here going into this this challenge because you have to move the heavy thing. I assumed that Caleb had a good J, he had a good jumper, and he did great form. But I did not know that I was not sure that Sifu would be able to make these baskets either.
well,
So-
was genuinely shocked that they were able strength-wise to basically keep up with the Bello tribe. Like
I
the
don't think
Lulu
Sean-
tribe, the
I don't think
Lulu
Sean's
tribe with
no,
Caleb, Bruce, and Jake,
Jake,
pulling
yeah.
it. Like there was no doubt they were going to be able to get their little contraption up there first. But I was shocked that Sean, J Maya, Sifu, D, and Julie were able to
think-
basically.
I think
keep
that
pace
tribe
with the Bello tribe.
is strong strength wise as well. Like Sifu's can move 10,000. He's like Gaston.
Sifu
with the-
can, but
with
the
his-
other ones can. Are you shitting?
I don't think. Yeah,
He's
I don't
not
think that
Jonathan,
Sean
Kevin.
Sean has not been like weak in these physical parts of the challenges.
No, I think
Right.
he's done fine, but Sean can't. I mean, he doesn't have superhuman strength. I mean,
But I think there's a reason though that Caleb, Bruce, and Jake win this portion of the move. But I think they are very neck and neck with Austin because I feel like Austin and Sifu very even. I feel like Drew and Sean very even.
I don't know.
I feel like Brando and Julie
Very even. Very even. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm getting at. Like I don't when I look at Sean,
Yeah.
I feel like Sean's been strong in these challenges.
What I also don't understand is why the choice of Julie to actually be the one that climbs under as opposed to D.
She was the smallest. It's so you dig the smallest
no,
hole.
J Maya is the smallest.
Well, yeah, J Maya is the smallest, and
I
I
think Julie's
wouldn't put
smaller.
a 50-something-year-old woman to do that. Don't you want somebody with a little bit more stamina?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? She wasn't gassing out. Julie is moving Julie's moving through these challenges.
No,
She
I
looked,
think
she looked gassy to me.
Yeah, she looked gassed out, and she made some really questionable decisions trying to throw the ball back.
I mean,
But
you say she looks gassed out. They all looked gassed out.
She seemed extra
she
gassy.
looked gassed out compared to the other two people that were the rebounders.
I don't know why they chose Julie, but I felt like that wasn't the reason they.
No, the reason that they lost was because Sifu isn't. He did a lot of Tai Chi growing up, and he did not do a lot of basketball.
So didn't play a lot of basketball because that shot was a little off, it was a little wonky. He
Yeah.
hits the first two though, but Austin has a playground jumper.
You knew Austin was fine because when he was missing short. He kept hitting the front of the rim.
He had a playground jumper. Caleb though played college. You know what I'm saying? He played college ball. The way he was shooting that ball, he played D1 school. Like
he posted a picture of himself on Twitter and was like, "Yeah, I had this one in the back."
Did he? Yeah, was it him playing basketball?
No, it was like him holding up like a little flag, like with a championship on.
Yeah.
I think it was high school, but it doesn't matter. Like
the moment he shot the first one, I was like, this dude has a jumper on him.
Yeah, like
Yep.
you can be a really good high school basketball player and be fine in the game of Survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
Canadians play
Caleb once
basketball.
again,
Who knew?
Caleb once
Everyone,
again
like,
shines.
Some of the best players in the league right now are Canadian. What are you talking about?
I know. I was being facetious, sarcastic. Canada beat America at some point.
They did.
In fact, Canada created basketball.
They did. They just didn't master it.
Yeah. Okay. So Lulu gets their first win because they literally have all three of their baskets in before anybody else even attempts one. So Lulu smokes them. Good for you, Caleb. You're finally going to get some fire because you're the only person now that has not had fire in the game. And awesome. So it comes down to the other two, and Sifu does make two, but I don't know if Sifu would have ever gotten the ball up to the third hoop. Do y'all think he would have?
I think he would have figured it out eventually. It's all about adjustments. It's like, oh, I was short. Okay, more power.
Yeah,
It would have taken some time. He would have got it.
You would have, but he didn't. And not a surprise.
He didn't have the
And
opportunity to.
And Reba McIntyre is going to tribal.
The Reba tribe, y'all been successful, but not anymore.
Give me your flint.
Lulu.
I low-key hate how they're like, Lulu wins her first immunity. And it's like, no, Caleb won his first immunity.
I loved it because Jeff says Lulu wins their first immunity. Different people, but same tribe name. He calls it out like they win. Doesn't really matter because none of those people are here.
Yeah, Caleb wins his first immunity.
It's like when a sports team buys a championship where they like jettison 90% of their players, get a bunch of high-priced free agents, and they have that one guy who stayed, and they're like, he got his ring.
Or like if they like steal the signs from another team.
So like the Liberty, CJ? Got rid of everybody, kept Sabrina and Nescu.
They didn't win, though.
But they didn't win. They didn't win. That's right. They didn't win the championship.
The Aces won with a bunch of people they drafted.
Yeah. Homegrown talent. But in this situation, Lulu did win. Caleb.
Wait, hold on. One other thing. Notice the Aces are the world champions, not a Canadian team, Sheldon.
Yeah.
Basketball Americans.
Good for you.
But Caleb, Canadian, was the champion here. Drained the shots. Goes back, gets Flint. As we talked about, Bruce does the thing where he's like, "Oh, I don't remember when."
I just want to show that Katora confessional. It was so great.
I would vote Bruce out too.
On repeat.
After that.
On repeat. Yeah, just for that. All right, but on the Reba Beach, Dee is like, Sean, maybe you're the bad luck.
That was funny.
Yeah, I like that. I kind of like Dee's bluntness. Dee is like a more polished Emily almost. She's kind of outspoken, but she is way, way more smooth about it.
Oh, Dee's my second favorite behind Caleb.
Caleb's my favorite too.
Now we're at Caleb. Okay, so let's rank CJ's people. Caleb, Dee, Kendra.
Yep.
Emily.
Really? Nah.
Katora, Emily.
Neither. I have those three, and then I have a large gap that I don't think about anybody.
Didn't you say that Emily was up there?
No, that was Sheldon.
That was Sheldon. Yeah,
Oh,
Sheldon.
I love
for,
Emily.
for me, my three favorites are Katura, Caleb, and then probably Austin.
Mine
Those
is
are my three
Katora by a long shot, and I don't even know who comes in second.
Emily for you. Emily
No,
for Sheldon.
no, it's not Emily. I already told you that I don't like nice Emily. Probably Kendra. I don't know.
Here's the thing. I like Katura right now, but I don't know if I'm gonna like Katura when Bruce is gone, because where does her content go?
Just don't doubt her. It'll be there.
My top. Ooh, this is hard. Caleb, Julie, Hannah.
You don't love Austin?
And
No,
Brandon.
not as much. No, and Katura. I
I'm
like.
surprised
Yeah,
you've cooled on Austin. I know how much you loved him preseason. You know what I'm saying?
No, she loves how he looks. I mean, he
I
loves how he
know.
looks.
No, I don't love how he looks. I love how he looks. Okay? There's a big-
Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. What else? Julie, this is where
yeah,
she
and
has,
Emily.
Julie has this moment, Sheldon, that you were referencing where she's like, tribe strength. The best way to not get voted out of the game is to not go to tribal council.
She's right, in my opinion.
Facts.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little bit facts.
It's not a little bit.
No,
Fast.
you can't get voted out if you don't go to tribal, Kylie. There's nothing to even argue on.
Yeah, this is true. But sometimes you have to go to tribal council, and sometimes it's worth it to just go and just vote the people out.
Yeah, but you make it sound like Sifu was so horrible, and Sifu wouldn't be loyal, and Sifu wouldn't perform in a tribal.
He was the one talking Reba strong. Like, he's the most loyal.
He
like
is a Reba fan.
Yeah, his whole code and creed and everything.
Like, I don't get it at all, honestly. Don't get
What don't
it.
you get?
I still like. You guys were trying to defend why Sifu was the right.
He
move.
has not connected with those girls. That's what it is.
Look, I get it. I just wouldn't do it.
If you're not connecting, game is a social strategy game, Sheldon. If you're not connecting with the people, then there's nothing. Then that's why they're the person we're looking at.
It's also a numbers game.
I'm not going to just keep a guy if I'm a person if I'm not vibing with them.
Yeah, you are, because he's a number that is a big looking threat that could be voted at merge, and he's going to be a bigger threat than any of them down the line. And I'd rather him around as my number.
If I like Kylie and CJ and I'm not vibing with you, I'm saying we should vote you out because I want you gone. Not
if
just
you ever
Kylie.
say something like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm not vibing with you and I'm vibing with everyone else here,
but
then we got to get rid of the one we're not vibing with.
Yeah, but we know you're just going to get rid of Kiley because that's obvious.
Right.
Kylie's a big
still
threat.
The smartest move for Kevin, because guess what, Sheldon? I'm better at immunity challenges than you are.
Yeah, you're right.
Kevin,
and it's probably a better idea to get rid of me because I'm not that good.
Kevin, this is like a Brandon Emily situation where they're both fighting to stay in the game, and we have to decide who to vote out.
Kiley, let's vote out Kevin.
Okay. I'll go to Rocks.
You're going to Rocks for Kevin?
No, with you. I'm going to Rocks for you.
It's funny. She says, "I'll go to Rocks," and then when it's tied and we revote, she would vote you out. She's not going to Rocks.
I believe that.
I would go to Rocks, actually. Okay, so not only does Sifu suck, then Sifu makes up this song with his machete. And it's giving Matthew from the Amazon vibes. And that's not a good place to be. Even my husband last night was like, he seems a bit off of his rocker. Like, he seems not okay in the head.
If somebody's singing with a machete, I'm going to try to take the machete from them.
And it's the second time. It's the second time he sings with that machete. It's terrifying.
And he's, this is the name of the game or whatever he's doing. And then he is like, Julie, did Sean get to you? Wow. And Julie's like, nope, he didn't. Nope, Reba's strong. Are you sure? Because I would hate it if he got to you and you voted me out. Like he looks like he's out of a slasher movie, y'all. And I would be like, 100% writing this fucker's name down.
Even if that means you go back to tribal.
Yes. Because
Okay.
then the next week I'm going to vote out Sean.
If you're Julie, I think you're comfortable going to tribal over and over and over because you know that your idol is gone from your beach and you check Sean's bag and you know he doesn't have one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And you don't think that J Maya is going to go to rocks for Sean.
Right. And
All
you
these
just
things
let J Maya get her way. Like, hey girl,
Because we're working together.
we're working together. So
And then you tell her like once you get rid of Sean, you're like, by the way, me and Dee are working together, so we got to win.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to tell her that, but at that point, writing's on the wall.
But we do have the moment where Julie and Dee pull Sean aside. They tell him, hey, it is going to be Sifu. Obviously, like, don't get spooked, but in this tribal council, we are going to talk about Reba Strong and tribe strength and all of that good stuff. But
I loved this. I hope this happens more often. We just don't see it. But I love the fact that she said, okay, here's the talking points we're going to hit. Just so that way you don't know, like when we're hitting them and we're like, Sean's the bad guy. Sean's the one we're going to be getting rid of. It's not really
yeah,
to you.
we like him, but sorry.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
This is the script. Everybody have their parts, hands out the scripts. Everybody make sure let's rehearse the lines. I'm going to be Jeff. Jeff, how does it all be split up? You go, D. Now you go,
Yeah.
And what they also should have said is like, look, we're going to tell you this. If you don't believe us, feel free to play your shot in the dark, but this is where the votes are going.
Yeah, and that was the thing I was going to get at is if I'm Sean and they are telling me this, I'm 100% playing my shot in the dark because they don't need your vote. Yep. Like if the three of them are honestly going to vote Sifu, your vote doesn't matter. So why would you not play your shot in the dark?
Because I can save it for next time when it's just me.
Well, it doesn't work. It's a waste. So I'm gonna. it's like Sabaya going out with her idol. You might as well, and it's less valuable.
So Kylie, next time when you play Survivor, I want you to get there. I want you to just take your shot in the dark, hand it to somebody, and just say it's a waste of time. I don't need this anyway.
Okay.
From the jump, the moment you get there, go through your bag. Oh, here's that marble. I don't need this shit.
The thing about that shot in the dark is it's an act of desperation. And if you're pretty sure you're going home tonight, you're going to use it anyway. There's no point saving it for the next one.
Correct. And if you're pretty sure you're not going home tonight based on what they're telling you,
then you don't play it.
And they're giving you talking points. What makes me feel more comfortable here if I'm playing this game and or going to tell someone that's playing this game, the fact that they're telling you what the script's going to look like ahead of time makes it even more better. So last week, I loved Sabaya's move when she told Caleb, I'm going to tell Emily your name and you're going to tell her my name, just so that way we have that understood. So then when Emily's first telling Caleb, he's like, okay, everything is going according to the script. If you're scripting out what's going to be said, it leaves someone more at ease about what's going on because everything's going according to plan. So
you mean that what they did to Caleb when they were lying to him, that Sean was supposed to just eat it up and just take their word for it? And not play his shot in the dark, even though it made no sense for them to keep him. Like, what? No.
Yes, the difference between
Sean should have played his shot in the dark.
I 100% disagree with you.
You used the same example of like, hey, look at this great play where I gave you these talking points.
Right.
And the person's being lied to, and the other one, the person's not being lied to.
Right.
Because in Sean's position, when your vote doesn't matter, then play your shot in the dark.
The difference is, though, in this situation, you're reading the fact that they really do want to get rid of Sifu. That's the difference.
But that's the thing. It's how much do I trust what they're telling me?
Right.
I would.
If I'm Sean, it doesn't
make sense for them to keep you.
If I'm Sean, what it comes down to is how much do I trust J Maya? If I trust her, then I'm not playing the shot in the dark. If I don't trust her, I'm playing it.
Well, another thing is that, and obviously we're only watching 90 minutes of the show, right? We're watching probably 75 minutes of the show.
We used to say that about the 60 minutes, and we were always like, we don't get enough. And now we have 90 minutes, and we got a lot.
Well, the reason I say that is because in his interview with Dalton Ross, he said that Dalton asked him, "Did you think you were going home that night?" He said, "I 100% was not going home that night. I talked to J. Maya, D, and Julie continuously, and they continually told me exactly how much they don't like Sifu." So they
The tell for me was that they didn't have this discussion with him individually. They had it as a group. It was all three of them and him. And they sort of brought him in as he was part of the group.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the telltale sign of you're not being,
and they're building on each other.
Exactly.
And they're building on each other because they collectively want to do this.
So I'm actually completely with Kevin. I think maybe I would have been scared, as everybody should be at every trial.
You should be anyway.
But I don't know if I would have used it, especially after he made his musical concert that made everybody roll their eyes. They all probably had a conversation about how annoying it was and how they said, "Yeah, we need to I'm done with the concerts."
Yeah.
And then we get to tribal, and none of this matters.
Doesn't matter. All right, so tribal council, anything y'all want to bring up? Because it goes like they tell him, hey, Sean is great. He's got great vibes, but it doesn't make any sense for us to vote him out or, to keep him. So Reba strong. Anything to add there?
No, that's what they said.
Yeah. So then Jeff goes in with his question, which he so often asks. Okay, Sean, if it is you tonight, then what has this journey meant for you? And Sean's like, spooked, apparently. Geez, maybe I am getting voted out because Jeff is asking me this question. And
no,
this is what he's claiming.
No, that's what Jeff is claiming.
Yeah.
Yes, that is not what Sean is saying.
No. This is what Jeff's claiming.
Yes.
So, apparently this question has spooked him. And
which makes no sense. You know that question's coming. You've been to tribal 3 times.
Correct. What Sean said happened was he was looking at Survivor to be the adventure of a lifetime. And the one to he grew up Mormon, and he grew up he's gay. He was a closeted gay man, and he was Mormon, and he was trying to be straight. That's what he was telling Dalton, and that all of he went on Survivor to, if you will, try to. He said that he told the producers this too, try to make up for a lot of the time he felt like he had lost. But then he said while he was out there, especially with them, he said especially with them, he didn't say especially with them losing, but Dalton asked, do you think losing a lot, not having fire has something to do with it? He said, I think if I was in a different situation, I might not have been here mentally in this place at the time, but I was in the place of maybe Survivor doesn't have to, maybe that Survivor doesn't reinvent me, but maybe I can go and just be the person that I am now, which is why he talks about his husband and he wants to be somewhere else, because that's where he was at mentally. He said that he does ultimately, he said now after he got home, he regrets it immensely because he was not thinking about this all day. He wasn't thinking, because Dalton also asked him why they handled Hannah's exit versus yours differently. He said, well, Hannah was talking about from day one how this is probably not where she needs to be. Yeah. And so they knew that going in. So that's why they had 3 days of footage of her being like, I don't know about this. Whereas with him, he said, I thought about it, but I didn't say nothing to nobody about it. And if you notice, he said, I'm even there. I tell Sifu, let me be your pizza. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I was still in it. Then Jeff asked me that question, and it did I'm just word vomiting, he said. And then all of a sudden, I'm feeling all this emotion, and I'm thinking about that Survivor. He said Survivor was not giving him what he wanted in terms of what he thought he wanted. But he should have continued to play as a player as opposed to just going and looking for it to fulfill him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know.
So wait, you don't know that this is what the man said, but you're gonna trust what Jeff.
Well, I mean, the person. There's this thing called revisionist history, and I think that is what Jeff.
You hear about this on Fox News, I think.
Yes. Where I think that he's romanticizing it a little bit.
Yeah, those are Jeff's words.
You know what? You know what we really needed at that point? We needed TJ to come out and talk about how much he hates quitters.
TJ
That would be great.
Listen,
I mean,
so,
Jeff at least like shows a little bit of emotion with this one where he's like, what? But the part that I can't get,
shocked.
this is the part that this
it was
is
a
the
shock,
part
yes.
this is the part to me that I can't get over and I can't accept what he's selling, Sean, is that you aren't getting on a plane and going back home.
Right.
You're going to Ponderosa for 2 more weeks.
He said he was aware of this.
So,
Which I don't get either.
you're a clown, and
he said he was aware of this, but it was
Yeah.
in that moment that he, like he said, he was looking for this to do something different for him. And he said this in producers and when he was applying for the show and everything, but then it didn't fulfill that need. And so he, in that moment, he listened to everyone else, was like, let me get him out of here. But he should have been like, I want to play the game because I do love playing the game. So, I mean, I'm taking the man at his word. I'm taking him at his word. If you don't want to be here, man, the point of the game is to get rid of people. If you don't want to be here, go and get out of here. I'm cool with it.
I'm of two minds about this. I'm not exactly where Kiley is, but I'm also not completely against where Kiley is. I actually, just as I felt with Hannah, I respect when people look at their surroundings, do the analysis, do what they needed to do, and say, you know what? This is not my place. And they make those hard decisions and they say, it's time for me to go. As somebody who's changed my career 4 times, I've been through that. It is hard. It is not easy. It is emotional. And so from that point of view, I respect him and I respect Hannah. What I don't understand is that, and it seems to be true based on Kevin, what you just said, in what Dalton said, as well as what even Jeff's side, is that this wasn't something that was thought out. This is something that kind of just happened at Tribal Council. And to me, to make such a rash decision about an opportunity of a lifetime is kind of scary and sad. And I don't want to shit on him because I assume he's going to be shitting on himself his entire life. Because to not just to quit, but to also lose a chance of potentially winning the money, which I don't think he really had a good chance based on how he was playing. And I'm not sure he was going far. Like,
I mean, if I have a 1 in 15 chance at winning $1 million, you're gonna have to drag me away from it.
And that's the thing. Like, so what? Like, I don't know. At Ponderosa, do they even get to text or call their home?
No,
I don't know.
No.
Like he was just going to be by himself, and the people.
Well, he's going to be with Sabaya, so
he's going to go hang out with Hannah.
Sabaya and Hannah and Brandon, the other Lulu losers.
Like it just felt to me like such an emotional, rash, quick decision. And I also assume that the other part of this we didn't really talk about yet, and we should probably get to it soon, is I don't understand the Dean vote. Like, why?
No, hold on. I'm not done with the Sean of it, and then we can move on to the actual vote. So here's my thing: is I'm not gonna like continuously shit on Sean. Like, okay, you quit. Like, I don't. To be honest, I don't even want to talk about it. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like with Hannah, she talked about how it wasn't for her, and I really respect the fact that she acknowledged that this is hard because we all know Survivor is really fucking hard, and she was ready to quit. And she said, I'm leaving whether you vote me out or not, so you might as well vote me out. Like, I hate the quitting of it, but I respect it.
Yeah.
This just seemed like an emotional decision, and I didn't really like it.
Yeah, it was 100% emotional. He said it was emotional.
You want to know where I've got the problem, and I think that it comes back to casting. And, you know, I said this earlier, is Jeff talking about like, okay, I think he romanticized his quit. I think Jeff has romanticized the whole game of Survivor. Like, Survivor doesn't have to be this deep spiritual journey. it can honestly just be a game of
Correct.
social strategy. And
Yep.
I think that that is where casting has lost it a little bit. And I
But
think that while we're getting some great people because they've expanded their horizons, there's still something that they're overlooking that is very evident in this season, that there's a little bit of a disconnect somewhere
are
in
you suggesting that these people are not as competitive as they should be?
Well, let me read. I want to read
Right.
you these two questions from Dalton's interview with him.
Okay.
If you guys don't mind, the
With
question
Sean?
and the answer. Yeah, Dalton Ross from Entertainment Tonight or Entertainment Weekly. My apologies. Said Jeff Probst said on this podcast that you didn't own the real reasons you were quitting and that you romanticized it by saying it was about being with your husband when he thinks other factors were at play. What do you make of this assessment? Sean says, yeah, I certainly respect Jeff's thoughts on the situation and how he was reading into it. I think also about the fans out there and all of their opinions and thoughts. And I have no expectation that anyone can understand why I did what I did because my decision was extremely personal. No one has lived a day in the life of Sean, and so I don't expect other people to understand it. Now, again, for me, it was about the realization that I came on Survivor for this purpose, reclaiming lost time, which admittedly was an unfair expectation to put on Jeff, to put on the Survivor, to put on the crew, because that is a very tall order to say, hey, Survivor, rewrite my entire life. It's an impossible task. But that was the mentality I had, and that's what I was going into the game with.
That's
And
it.
so for me,
I find that fascinating.
And so for me, when I realized, oh, this is not that, Survivor in that moment had fulfilled the measure of its creation for me, and I was at peace with it at that time. And so again, it really was the question that Jeff asked that really was the hinge point for me. But I would say my reasons were just different than maybe what others perceive, and that's okay. And then Dalton says, you said you wanted to spend time with your husband rather than stay in the game. However, you and I both know that you don't get to go home when your torch gets snuffed. Instead, you go to Ponderosa to be with the other folks that were voted out. So how did that factor into your thinking? Sean says, yeah, no, excellent question. The idea that I would leave the game and immediately see my husband, I think, is something that people are like, doesn't he know he has to go to Ponderosa? And of course I knew that. Like I said, it wasn't this homesickness feeling. It wasn't like I miss my husband. I want to see him, so I'm leaving the game. That wasn't at all. It was that Survivor had fulfilled its purpose for me. And I realized that what I expected to get out of Survivor, my whole intention of going was not something that was a reasonable ask. And so again, I felt very at peace with my decision in that moment. I will say there definitely is, and I've been able to process this experience and come back from it. It's been months since it's been filmed. I'll be honest with myself and everyone else that there's definitely an intense feeling of regret about my decision. And it's okay to have regrets. I think a lot about it, how I wish I could have been more flexibly minded in that moment to be able to say, hey, Survivor, this has been a great experience. It's not really the fulfilling thing that I came out here for initially. But now, as a player of the game who loves the game, now I can turn up and play the game instead of asking for an adventure of a lifetime. So definitely looking back, I wish I could have been more in that space. I just wasn't, and I have to find a way to come to terms with that for myself.
Yeah.
That's a
So
problem on Survivor casting. So
that's especially if he says earlier in this interview that he told them he was coming for this adventure and
like, if you
to
want an
fulfill
adventure,
himself.
go book a fucking expedition.
No,
Like,
that's what I'm saying. No, I'm with you, Kathy.
Survivor's a game, and it's annoying. It's annoying
I,
that this is what it's come
Kathy,
to.
I'm with you. I think especially if he was honest with them the whole time, and they're like, "That's who we want out here." If he's telling them, "I'm here to fulfill this hole in my heart. I'm not coming to play this game. I'm coming to be that."
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not even gonna shit on him for like his decisions. I don't really know why he quit.
But this isn't just a Survivor thing. Like, if you take reality competitions in a nutshell, a lot of times, like Bachelor, all of the women always have some kind of sob story. When you watch American Ninja Warrior, the ones that get on TV are always the ones that have some kind of sob story. And like, yeah, they opened up casting because they want to have 50%, people of color, minorities, and all that. But even with opening that up, you've seen since Survivor 40, they've been focusing more on sob stories and giving people background that we didn't necessarily get in the older versions.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're
Well,
100% right. And I think that I think there's a disconnect where Jeff and the other producers may have lost sight a little bit of what they're actually producing. Like I think Jeff wants it to be this thing that, you got this journey, and what does Survivor mean to you? I mean, literally asking the question, what did this mean to you? Well, it doesn't always have to be this deep thing. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not trying to just completely shit on Sean as a person. But to me, like where I said, okay, this is snowflake casting, I feel like when you've made the commitment to something, then you stick it out. Like, look at Suri playing Big Brother. She fucking hates Big Brother. But she made the commitment. She's not going to leave the house. Right? If Suri was a casting choice from the new era of Survivor, she would have quit when Izzy and Jared got voted out because shit wasn't going her way. And she doesn't like it, and it's not fun. She would have left. But she made the commitment, and she's sticking through it, even though she doesn't fucking like it. And sometimes that's life.
Or you can leave. I mean, you don't. They have to hold you prisoner.
It's not it's not a jail.
Okay, I said it's a commitment, and that I personally think you see it through. Like, it sucks. You shouldn't have applied for it.
Or you could turn to the 4 people there and tell them, "Hey, the mechanic of the game is vote somebody out. Vote me."
Would you feel this?
And we get to talk about it.
But Kiley, would you feel this strongly if Hannah hadn't quit?
Huh?
Would you feel this strongly if we hadn't just seen Hannah quit?
Well, and that is probably part of it. I mean, from the beginning of this podcast, I said, I feel like my time as a viewer has been wasted. And now it's kind of been wasted 2 out of 4 episodes because we've seen somebody quit
I think it's wild that it's wasted if someone leaves. Like the mechanic of the game is someone leaving. Like that's what happens at the end of every episode.
Okay. Once again, remember earlier when you were like, "This is my opinion. This is my opinion." I feel like my time.
No, it's just wild to me.
I think my problem with this episode, specifically with Sean quitting, is that it came out of nowhere. Like Hannah's, they built to it. It was so out of left field that I didn't know how to process what was happening as I watched it.
And I don't think Jeff did either, which is why he reacted as he did.
Correct.
Well, and if you would think that you are making this, just
or the players for that
show, then switch shit up and show us him quitting at the very beginning and say, "All right, we're going to show you how we get here. Do something different."
They could have left it on a cliffhanger, but they don't want. The reason they don't leave it on a cliffhanger is because of Dee's vote.
I'm going to say it even more as a cliffhanger.
If it would have been a unanimous vote, I think they probably would have left the episode on a cliffhanger and then opened with the vote next episode. But because you have drama going into next week's episode, you have to wrap it up that way, which was an unsatisfying conclusion to, I think, what was a good episode. But there was still a whole lot of game. Like, I don't think it ruined the episode.
Let me ask a question, because I'm listening to Kiley, what you're saying, and it's almost like we've come to love Survivor, and I think actually I'll just speak for myself. I've come to love Survivor not just for the social strategy in the game, but because you get to meet some really random people on TV, like a Suri that I would never have met. Like, she would have been a nurse for the rest of her life. I would never have seen her. And you get that story, and that story really certainly is a big part of what Survivor is. But it almost sounds like what you're saying is, because Jeff has, especially I would argue the last 10-15 seasons, has put himself into the game so much and has become such a personality, he has sort of molded this game as this is a life-changing thing for the 16 people, and it's always going to be a life-changing thing, and we're always going to cast people with these I don't want to call them sob stories, but people with interesting backgrounds that now when people are actually coming to go to try out for the show, it feels like they have to lead with the fact that I've had this horrible life. Now I'm going to get something out of this experience, so that it's more than just a game. And it's almost like you're suggesting that Survivor has done this to themselves.
Yes.
Where they basically have said, Survivor is not just a television show. Survivor is not just a social strategy
It's a
game.
life-changing journey. And it
And
may
so,
not be. It may just be a game.
and the truth is, I kind of agree with that because I wasn't bored when when Big Tom was just this weird farmer guy with a crazy personality. Like that was fun for me too. I didn't need a sob story from Big Tom.
But I mean, even forget that part. I mean, Kylie, me and you have been doing this together now for 2 years.
Yeah.
We used to have other people that did the show with us, like Frank and Robbie, right?
Yeah.
And I said before with Frank, I would never go on Survivor. It's not for me. And he's like, and I remember Frank telling me, but it would just be such an amazing, life-changing experience. And I'm like, I don't think so. I don't want to sleep outside because I'm thinking about the nature of the game. And it was just an interest because as we're talking about it, it made me recall to that previous podcast made of ours. He is going for that experience. He's applying because he wants to have this life-altering experience. And I think, like you were saying, Kyle, I don't agree with you often, but I think you're right in that Sean went out there like Frank and was like, this life-altering thing I'm ready for. And he got there and he's like, when does it happen? When does the life change? I'm waiting for because we don't have fire for 10 days. When does this happen? Oh, I don't think it does.
I know we're running late, and I might be making this
We're running
a bit
long,
more, yeah. But I might be making this a bit more of a global question. But is this a thing? Is this actually a symptom of something that's going on in our world, where people are looking for meaning in their life, and somehow people are going on even going on a show like Survivor, a game show, is what meaning is? Like,
Right.
do we have?
And that's where I was saying, like,
meaning?
I don't want to comment too much on Sean as a person because I don't know Sean and I can't speak for him. But obviously, from the things Sean is saying, he is still searching for and or missing something in his life. And he was expecting to get it from Survivor. And maybe he did realize that, hey, I'm not missing this. I've already found it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But
Can I also
even just a
suggest
statement of like, okay, well, I didn't get to live my life how I wanted to live it for so long, and I don't want to miss a single day of it. Well, I mean, to me, like that's also like just such an odd mindset because, I mean, and we're getting so far off of the game of Survivor, but it is what it is. That's just an odd mindset to me as a married person that Emily talks about like autonomy in the game. Like, you want to have that as an individual too. And, you don't want your entire identity to be wrapped up in a relationship. And so without knowing Sean and being completely out of line, even commenting this, I feel like if he was missing something when he came on to Survivor and he thinks he found it in another person,
he would find it.
Probably still missing it.
Well, sorry, I know CJ, you wanted to come in. I don't want to. Maybe I'm being a little bit dramatic, but this is a TV show, and they're bringing these people for ratings. Period. Full stop. That's what's going on here. It's not about a game. It's not about. It's about a TV show. It's about money. Okay. Are they using these people?
Well, that's what I was actually going to bring up about the money. Is like there's a lot of socioeconomic reasons that people go on this show too.
Yes.
Because
well, we haven't seen that a lot in the last 5-6 seasons, by the way.
But Sean is like an average millennial. This dude's probably never going to own a house. He's a school principal. This dude is looking for upward mobility.
Yeah.
This Survivor, winning Survivor might have actually brought the meaning to his life that he was looking for because it may have given him the financial freedom to chase the dreams that he's always wanted to chase.
Who knows? Yeah, I mean, I don't know what can fill that.
And maybe he was like, I'm going to use this as a way to chase my dreams. And then he got out there, and as Kevin was just bringing up, Survivor is really hard. And it is what it is.
But you see, he didn't quit because Survivor was hard. He quit because he found no meaning in Survivor, or the meaning that he dreamt he would get.
But maybe his meaning is different if he has an easier path.
Right.
Listen,
I
but,
agree.
but my point of is Survivor using these people, and I didn't think I would ever get there, and to some extent, any TV show, especially
Yeah,
a
sure. They
reality
don't
show,
Every
they don't
TV
care about
show
you.
is using these
is,
people.
is
Yeah, they
using
don't
its
care about you.
people. But the truth is, if I'm thinking, I get Sean's video and it says, I want to go on Survivor because I want to prove to myself that this is going to be a life alter. Like why cast this person as opposed to say, here's a phone number to a good therapist where you could actually find good meaning and discover yourself, right? And maybe I'm being a bit of a dick, or here's a pastor or an imam or a rabbi and go talk like no. And I don't like the word snowflake because I don't fully understand what it means, but like they gave him the opportunity to come on Survivor and do this, as opposed to say, you know what, maybe you really need to talk to somebody, figure yourself out, and then come on Survivor. And honestly, from a game perspective, maybe that person who is completely fulfilled in their life would probably do a better job because they're ready to play and compete and they want to play the game as opposed to search for something more than the game.
And I don't think that you need to have a cast of 18 people that all have their shit together. But by the same token, when you're basically marketing it to people as this is the experience of a lifetime and you're going to get something from this that is unlike anything you've ever gone through in your entire life. Well, I mean, I just think that Jeff and the other producers are making it bigger than what it is. And
Well,
I love
I
Survivor.
don't think what you just said is not true because it is an experience of a lifetime. The difference is it might not necessarily be a life-changing experience.
Right.
If I want the experience of a lifetime, I'm trying to go on Amazing Race. I'm not trying to go on Survivor.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that, CJ. I'm interested. Why?
Because you're
Why?
going around the world, Sheldon.
Because I'm going around, I'm seeing the world, and I'm in like not only am I going
know
around
about
the world
that.
and seeing the world, I'm going to places that I never would have
Oh,
gone on.
I
my
forgot.
own.
Sheldon watches Amazing Race Canada. They just go around Canada.
Yes.
So in Amazing Race America,
I know. I watched Amazing Race. I'm an idiot. I'm not that big of an idiot.
All right, let's talk about
the
the
vote.
seafood vote.
All right.
I'm more. The seafood vote wasn't the shocking one. The D vote was the shocking one.
No. The D vote was just a throwaway vote. They knew that D wasn't getting any votes. The
He couldn't
seafood
put it
vote,
on seafood because
But
he was
Yes.
worried that other people were going to vote Sifu and he wasn't going to get voted out.
you can't vote your own name. You can't write your own name. So the D vote's easy to explain. Why does D still vote seafood?
I love it.
because that was the plan.
Yeah.
Because she said, I heard Sean and I don't give a fuck. I'm
Yeah.
going to go ahead.
Actually,
Thank you, D.
D actually has a really easy out of this. She goes back when she says, so he put on that what I thought was a performance. I thought he was going to play an idol. So I wanted to make sure that someone had a vote other than him.
Yeah.
But
Seafood's like, why me though?
Why me?
Why me? Because I was afraid you might have an idol too.
So you didn't vote me
Seafood
also?
mad. Seafood get
so
vote.
you're telling me you thought that he had an idol and you thought I had an idol. So then we both play idols and then you go home?
Well,
So
no, because
do I
no,
answer
what
this
you
question
say-
while Sifu is swinging the machete?
Yes, that's what I'm asking you. So explain to me the Sifu vote, D.
I got to go to the well. I got to get
I
out.
care for D's life. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the fallout. Luckily, D is in a good position with the two women because Sifu mad.
I don't think she's in a good position, but she knows where the idol is, so she has nothing to worry about. She might need to sleep with one eye open, though.
Yes. That is the only thing that I like about this is that D went ahead and voted Sifu. I cannot wait to see how this part of it plays out.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Do y'all think that we see another tribe go to tribal council next episode?
No, it's Reba.
No, it's Reba.
Okay.
So if we want to talk about next episode previews, it's what is
Elephant in the
going
room.
on with Jake, man?
Elephant in the room.
Man down again.
Are we even going to get a tribal council next episode, or are we getting a medevac of Jake? Because like I said last episode, they did not show us him basically having a seizure and falling in the fire for it to be a one-off. Like, obviously, this was getting circled back to.
What is going on with him?
Kylie, is Jake also a snowflake?
No.
They
Jake
all
is
are.
having a medical
They're all
experience.
snowflakes. Jake should tough it out. He shouldn't be trying to leave the game.
Why is he on his
He
knees?
doesn't want to leave the
He
game.
shouldn't be
Only
having this
snowflakes
medical.
get on their knees.
Oh,
Jake's literally having a seizure.
You don't know
Jake's
that. He
the
might just have
opposite of a
epilepsy.
snowflake. What, CJ?
He might just be might have like epilepsy or something.
The
Yes.
great
Like
thing is that if Sifu gets medevac, he'll be back next season.
no, not seafood, Jake.
Jake.
It's interesting. It's interesting because like he's walking and then just falls down. What is going on? What did they miss?
But the fact that they show him talking about it after makes me think he's not getting medevac.
I think
Which is possible. But then what happens when it happens like a third time? We just got to play from the game.
I think that they're going to show him getting talked to by medical at this point because it's happened twice that we know about.
Yeah.
It has to
And
be done.
even at this point, we're on like day 10. I mean,
medical has to talk to him at this point.
No,
They've talked to people for
him,
less.
Medical talked to him at that point, because I'm sure they checked him out. I think medical's going to come in this time and say, it's the second time we need to do a blood test. We need to do work. We need to understand what's actually going on. Maybe we need a CAT scan. We need you in the United States with good medicine. Let's go.
yeah, I think this is the end of the road for Jake.
Yeah, I think, sadly for Jake, I think it's over.
Which,
Sadly
this
for
is
Katura, because they can't vote out Bruce if Jake goes home.
this is also an unfortunate thing because I feel like we're heading into now episode 5 where we're going to have 2 quits and a medevac. And
Another wasted episode.
Snowflakes!
Another wasted episode.
Snowflakes!
Snowflakes. We have to have people voted out for reason.
no, if you're probably a snowflake too if you don't know the difference between someone being medevaced and someone being a snowflake.
There's no guarantee that we don't get a tribal if he were to get
Very
medevac.
true.
You might just lose one of the like double elimination episodes we get later in the season.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I just don't want my time wasted for watching an episode and then someone going home at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't want that. That's going to be a waste of time too.
Or even worse, the middle of it. Like if it's the middle, not good.
Yeah. No.
Drop your buffs.
You're probably, like I said, y'all are probably snowflakes too if you don't know the difference between somebody quitting the game and someone being medevaced and how that is going to be.
No, you know how much snow I've
completely
seen in my
different
life? I know what a snowflake is, and I ain't no snowflake.
I don't know. You
Just
said
say
you
his
don't know
body
what a
quit.
snowflake is.
That's quitting.
That's quitting.
What'd you say?
His body quit. So
His body sucks. His body's a snowflake. His
all
mind
right.
may not be, but his body is.
Let's wrap it.
All right.
Let's wrap it.
So we will be back tomorrow to talk about the Big Brother eviction, and hopefully we get to see a live HOH competition. And we will definitely know who is HOH either way, and we will talk about it then. But interesting cliffhanger that we got in the Tuesday episode, so I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah, so join us tomorrow. I'll be there. Some people from this group will be there. I don't know who. Kylie will be there. Maybe CJ. Maybe Sheldon. Sheldon's saying no, I guess.
Some people may be there.
So I'll be there. So come and join me tomorrow. You can find me at KG Fury. You can find Kylie at RealityK _TK. Find CJ at Keyboard Sarcasm. You can find Sheldon here once a week doing something. I don't know what. But that's kind of it.
Wow.
Usually talking sometimes. It's the truth.
But Lulu, they are such losers.
Yeah, I know. We know. We got rid of that one. I had to clean up the thing. So
well, we will be back.
I just added that.
We will be back next week to talk about whatever happens in the 5th episode of Survivor 45. Godspeed.
Good night.